What's going on, everybody? LK here, back at it again with another video, and today some more Dragon Ball FighterZ feel. So although we are in season 3 of Dragon Ball FighterZ right now, I figure let's take a look down memory lane a little bit and look back on Dragon Ball FighterZ season 1. So I hunted down some old tournament footage of me from season 1. This is pre-EVO also, so before the big EVO patch that happened in season 1. So what am I trying to look at? Honestly, all the bullshit that was in the game when the game dropped. This game was pretty crazy when the game dropped. Less characters, but definitely, they didn't really know what the game was going to be like, and we found a lot of crazy stuff. As you can see with this team, both teams, right? These are very, very Season 1 teams, so I figured it'd be cool to just take a look back at Season 1 and see how much the game changed since then. As usual, if you like the videos I'm putting out, I encourage you to please like this video, or subscribe to the channel, or if you really want to be cool, you could do both. It helps the channel grow a lot. I would really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Alright, so with that, let's just get right into it. So I'm playing at Cell, Bardock, SJ, Vegeta. I'm using Kid Buu, Cell, Android 16. I have mentioned my first team, my first like really heavy tournament team for a while. I used this team at Summit of Power as well, and as a look up for how bad I thought it was. So this is one of the first early things right there, right? So here we have old Kid Buu stuff. He has the 2S that doesn't track into high-low. That was extremely, extremely strong. Back into pressure, and I do it again, is what I would say, but I messed up the input. Anyway, we're back in here. I messed up the second time going in here. So his 2S, it used to track, so it used to put you airborne. So you still could kind of do the same type of 50-50 alone. But it's not as good for offense as the current one, but it was definitely better for mix-ups. It basically set up all his mix-ups. Here's the old Bardock. -1, Lariat. So this is pretty much the old team Goichi that my opponent is playing here, right? Cell, Bardock, SJ, Vegeta. This team got second at EVO that year. Here comes Bardock. To be fair, at this point, like, people knew he was really good, but most people didn't have like all his stuff down. It's pretty early in the game. One thing was definitely kind of interesting about the old game, or is that the right way to say it? Like the game in season 1, is that no one really knew how to play the game, right? I kind of knew this going in. I've had this experience before in a couple other ArcSys games where it's like brand new system, nobody really knows what's going on, everyone has to figure out what to do. This is also some cheapness they took out of the game. So here we have something else. So one major change they made to the game, I guess this was in season 2, and it will come up again, I'm pretty sure, in this set, is the ability for many moves to cross up like that. It's actually very, very, very hard to cross up with moves in general unless you're facing the right way in this game. Moves like Kid Buu's Mystic Ball and Cell's Rolling Crush, their cross-up hitboxes all got taken away. So getting back into the match, speaking of people not knowing how to play the game as well, definitely one of the big complaints now about sliding knockdown is like, delayed down tech and how much you can RPS people, rock, paper, scissors. For those of you who don't know, you should watch the Lotus vid of all the terminology if you do not know the terminology that we use. But at this time, I mean, up tech was kind of the main. Up tech and like just neutral tech reflect was kind of the main issue. Pretty much like the month before, or like a couple months before, people started using reflect tag a lot. That's another thing that drives me crazy in this game, to be honest. Cell was also super, super popular at this time. He did a lot of damage at this time. How much you could do definitely depended on your team's synergy, though. This team didn't have multi-supers in that way. The team that player 1, the Cutter, is playing, he had that old 50-50. Bardock's M Lariat didn't have landing recovery at that time. Here I am with Kid Buu. Also, people were not as well built with their 6M responses. So he tried to mash with a 7-frame move instead of a 6-frame move. Most people know now to mash a 6-frame move and then have like your double jab ready and all that. I'm pretty sure the FighterZ Dojo teaches you how to deal with 6M after you block it straight up. But at this point, the not FighterZ Dojo, just like the tutorial of the game is super, super basic and really, really bad. A lot of the stuff they put in the FighterZ Dojo came from basically the players learning how to play the game. Here's another old friend, Android 16, too, doing his thing. Doing his thing. This level 3 was so good. They have nerfed this level 3 like how many times, right? Between it not putting you down a certain way, it not enabling cross-ups if you DHC. There's a bunch of stuff that they changed about it. Oh, that's a Season 3 change they made. That would hit in Season 3. 2H! Oh, I'm gonna try to combo. So, one thing you may or may not know... Oh, nice drop past LK. One thing you may or may not know is that in Season 3... no, I think this Season 2 change, actually. They made it so you could do more damage to sparking characters if you spark as well. But there was no such thing in Season 1. Season 1 is probably the best sparking for living, I would say. Here he's running the combo. My 16 is dead. Here comes Cell. So, not really much. Another thing is, like, this team, in Season 1, a lot of people said my team was, like, really, really strong, but I actually think this team is trash. Like, and it's one of those teams that is 3 top tiers, but they don't work that well together, especially neutral-wise. That's the big thing. You know, people are using SSJ Vegeta, people are already using Cell Kibu, so that's like, if you're talking about beam control angles, it's like the opposite of GT, right? Like 45 degrees downward and then horizontal. It's a lot of neutral control. Also, you can see what I look like with a haircut before. Quarantine boys. Anyway. So here we are. I basically am jumping around a lot. We get this 50-50. That is actually... He did something really smart here. So he has one tall character, Cell. So fuzzies are not really a thing in this patch. Like, people aren't doing them even though they're possible. He stands blocked my 2S, so he could have reflected. That was something people who played tall characters did this mix-up before. I don't think he was aware of it, though. I think he just... stood up early, like anticipating my overhead. Yeah, fuzzies were definitely a thing at this time, but it was basically only Bardock players and adult Gohan players who were really using it. Snap was not so well developed, but people's knockdown tendencies were also not so well developed, I would say. It wasn't at the point where, like, random, so, like, you know, just like early in the bracket, pools people were, like, kind of difficult to follow up knockdown pressure with. Like, all the snaps are just because I'm just trying to get blue life. Oh, those are always unfortunate. Cell has a good side swap combo, so I'm surprised he didn't pick it, but these things happen. He's still going to get a good down here. Cell's corner to corner. There's a guard cancel. That old guard cancel is something else. It's like good and also not good. So you can combo off that guard cancel Vanish in this patch. So if your character has a good level 3, it's party time. I went for this, but he reflected and mash. Bardock's auto combo, we are all familiar with this. Oh, he could have really mixed me up. People were playing Season 2 were like, wow, you could have ended LK's life with a fuzzy right there. He's knocking me down again. Also, combos were not that optimal, but the combos, like, there was less flexibility with the combos. In Season 2, that's when characters started getting way better solo combo routes. Usually people like Cell had like kind of unique stuff, but most characters had the main similar routes. So because I was pretty current with the game, you know, I was already aware of like things like reflect tag and stuff. So I'm looking at the X, of course. It definitely was not at the point where it was now, where there are some people out there who will like show you the X on purpose and then let go to try to get you to bait them, and then they will just like run away. People are just kind of trying to just tag out at this point. Okay, but anyway, back to the match. So again, Cell was definitely, I mean, it was like day one that he started getting those like loops and stuff. So he was one of the original characters that both showed people the game had unique and hard combos and wasn't just auto combo all day, but also had like pretty unique combo routes. So here comes Bardock. Thankfully, he had Bardock Vegeta, and you can't really like mix me up, but you know, the damage output is really, really high with just those two. Oh, I beat Lariat somehow. What blessed luck, he is dead. So last character is just Vegeta. Solo Vegeta, I mean, honestly, this character is mostly the same. It's just like people are just way less willing to use him as an anchor. Most people are kind of obsessed. Obsessed is not the right word, but they just really underrate SSJ Vegeta a lot. I still think this character is really good today, even though it was like mostly the same. It was a level 3 mix-up. Sparking is way... You guys would be pretty upset with the Season 1 sparking. There's no guard cancel sparking, so It's way easier to bait sparking. It's way easier to bait sparking. He still tried to, even though I was waiting there. Also, as a bonus, here's another example of moves hitting behind in Season 1. My buddy Andrew16 with that sick plus 40 whatever one hit assist. Yeah, but from here, it's like pretty downhill. There were some people who still did like the early sparkings, but for the most part this time too, people usually save their sparking for the last character. SJ Vegeta is a character you could do that. He just like, how is he supposed to open me up? I already was not that scared of solo SJ Vegeta. I say as I got hit solo, but that was a pretty good awareness. There's like no more corner left. What do you do? And he got me. That was good. Good starter. Goodbye, Cell. I mean, in the terms of like quote-unquote today's game, like my team is vulnerable to a ton of stuff. Like snap into just mix over and over and over, but people just weren't developed like that yet. I mean, one thing about this game in general is that people wait for people to figure stuff out. It's still like that in this season. But it was even worse in Season 1 because the training mode was way worse. Oh, that's definitely a misinput. We didn't even have multiple recordings, so it was way harder to figure out mix-ups. He is dead. Goodbye, Vegeta. This is the last time you're going to see somebody playing Android 16 for a while, I think. Okay, and that is it for today. Season 1 was definitely pretty crazy. I didn't really talk about, like, you know, decisions or whatever that was happening. I just wanted to point out just, like, how different the game was, how people approach certain situations, the lack for real. For some people, the lack. For me, I was like, oh, this is fine. That there's not a ton of characters, and a bunch of other stuff. Now, this tournament was a monthly that I won in Xanadu, right? So that's the VG Bootcamp. So of course, I got links to their stuff in the description down below. As usual, if you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them in the comment section below. Like and subscribe if you feel like it, and I'll see you next time. Peace out.